Are you planning on being? I don't know if assignments have come out. Are you going to be on the oversight committee? Has that been determined yet?
We haven't got our new assignments, but I assume I'll be retained on oversight committee, and that's going to be such an important committee because here's the thing, and we're in the middle. There's a race going on for top dem on that, and something I've been telling folks is think about it this way. We know that I think the primary reason we lost this race really has to do with the economy, and there is going to be no greater opportunity in the House of Representatives than to highlight how much of a bullshitter liar Donald Trump is to working people than on House oversight. Why? Because this is the committee where we are going to be frequently having in front of us at the witness stand these billionaire cabinet members who he has put into power. And it's going to really give us an opportunity to call out that hypocrisy in a big way. But we're going to have an opportunity in the House Oversight Committee to really stand up for working families in a very unique way. And so I'm excited to do that, over the next 2 years.
You did an incredible job as a freshman House Democrat. You and Congressman Goldman, Congressman Moskowitz, Congresswoman Crockett, and others. And I hope that A team continues on because it's going to be even more important with you trying to fact check and correct the record under a Trump administration because he's going to lie his ass off, like you said, and he's going to be aided and abetted by Congressman Comer and the others as well. So I hope that they plan on maintaining a very strong presence on the oversight committee with people like you and AOC and others.
I
Um,
appreciate it. And I think, or sorry, just one
no,
thing
go
to add.
ahead, please.
And I think people can really look to Democrats in the South to really take a lesson out of here. And a lot of the people you mentioned, right? Crockett, Moskowitz, myself, people like Greg Casad, we've been dealing with. I call this the Florida problem. And what I call the Florida problem is the fact that sometimes I'll bring up something that's outrageous to someone outside of my state, and they'll go, "Wait, that's happening in Florida. That's crazy. I knew so much horrible things were going on there. I didn't realize that was going on." And so I call it the Florida problem because there's so many horrible things going on that everything gets lost. And there's not like a single thing that gets a heightened amount of attention because people say that's Florida. There's a lot of horrible things going on. And Trump, it's a very similar thing where Trump says so much crazy stuff and he's doing so much crazy stuff that I think the average American at this point, there's not single thing sticking out in a big way because people are like, well, that's him, that's Donald Trump. And so what we can do on the oversight committee is not allow him to get away with that and really bring things up to the public so people can really know about it. Like, no, we're not just going to shrug our shoulders and go, that's just him. That's just how he is. No, screw that. Like we're gonna really be able to paint the picture for people on the committee.
No, I think that's vital. You know, one of the things I was talking about once he announced that he wants to impose 25% tariffs on two of our top three trading partners is when prices don't decline, when prices increase. I hope we have Trump "I did that" stickers everywhere. I hope you bring them
Oh
into the
yeah.
committee. I hope it becomes a thing because President Biden actually gave a public remarks today, and he made this comment off the cuff, but I really appreciated it. He was talking. He mentioned Donald Trump, and he said one of the things I learned from Donald Trump is to put my
Yeah.
damn name on the checks.
Yep.
And he said stupid. And I think to more establishment figures, they look at that as very crass. Like it doesn't occur to Joe Biden to put his name on a check for the American people because it's crass to do so. But Trump introduced that into the equation, and I think that that's where our politics and political messaging comes from. And one of the great things about the freshman class of Democrats, including you, is you all have been bringing the fight to these Republicans in a way that we've not seen before. Congresswoman Crockett, she went hard on Marjorie Taylor Greene as well. She should. When you came to my attention, and I got thinking about it, like, damn, I wonder if Congressman Frost is nervous now because you introduced into the congressional record the phrase "pussy ass bitch" as
Oh
reference. Yeah,
yeah.
in reference to that Chrissy Teigen tweet that
Yeah.
Donald Trump requested to be taken down.
Yeah.
So you guys like it seems like you see the lay of the land and you're like, you know what? We're not going to behave unethically, but we are gonna play hard. We're gonna play hard politics. And so I really want to emphasize, I think even more important than last year, the next 2 years, it's got that heat has got to continue.
I fully agree. We we can't fight with our hands tied behind our back. We have to be fully blunt. And again, like you said, it doesn't mean we're going to be unethical like them, but it does mean we're just going to call stuff out. And a lot of times, the stuff we're calling out is just so ridiculous that you have to kind of call it out in a ridiculous way for people to really understand. Why was that tweet read into the congressional record? Not because Maxwell Frost said it, but because the president of the United States at the time tweeted it, or someone tweeted it about him, and then he tried to use his powers as president to get it taken down. That's the ridiculous part.
While lecturing you and others about the censorious Democratic Party. It's like there is no,
Exactly.
yeah, the hypocrisy is staggering.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be there to call it out. But calling out is part one. We call it out and then we provide our vision. And that's what we do every time, every single time. Call it out and then show how we're the actual ones who are actually governing for people, for working people, no matter who you are. And I think that's going to be really important for us to drive home.
Another major moment from you recently was you went viral for commenting on the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE. Ha ha ha! Get it, Congressman Doge. This de facto shadow cabinet led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Um, there's another ongoing debate within the left or the center left, the pro-democracy coalition. Do we embrace Doge? Do we cautiously approach Doge? Do we take a hostility to Doge? Now, full disclosure, and again, I can say this because I'm not an elected official. My default assumption is just be hostile to it because I just don't trust these people. But
Yeah.
I don't have the burdens that I don't have to deliver the way you do or that Senator
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders does. So I'm curious, where are you on this? Because I know Congressman Moskowitz has joined the Doge caucus. And I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be leading a subcommittee that will be working in conjunction with Doge, if I'm not mistaken. So, can you talk about Doge and the influence of Vivek and Musk and what you expect will come from this?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, I'm always looking for opportunities to work with Republicans on stuff like when we can, right? I think half or almost half of my bills are bipartisan. Um, I believe in that, but like you said, I think it's important to understand why people are doing something and what the proposition is. Because if you can't be aligned there, it is highly unlikely you're going to be able to get anything done that where you don't compromise your values. So if someone came up to me and said, I want to start a government efficiency thing, I think we can make government work better and use resources more efficiently. I'd say, hell yeah, I'm on the House Oversight Committee. I see the GAO reports. I understand that there is a lot of waste. So let's take a look at it and let's see what we can do. I'm always down for that. I think we can modernize a lot of things, etc. But that's not their proposition. Their proposition is to eliminate waste in the government. We must do two things: fire a bunch of people and eliminate a bunch of funding. That's what they're saying, right? And so for me, that shows me two things. Number one, a complete lack of nuance and understanding of how you actually conduct oversight. You don't come at something and say, here are the solutions, show me the problem. You say, where's the problem? And then together we figure out the solutions. Sometimes it might be changing where the funding goes. Sometimes it might be altering how an office works. A lot of times it's going to be putting in more resources to modernize a department. But very rarely will it be, let's fire all these people and defund it and it's going to make it work better. And so their proposition comes from a place that's just not, um,
Good faith.
it's not good faith. And they're really like they said, they're trying to run it like a company. And the fact of the matter is the United States government is not a private corporation that is trying to make money for shareholders and make money for founders. The government is here to work for the people, and we have to see it through that lens. And a lot of these agencies, um, these billionaires have their own versions of it. And so they don't see the value in it. And so because they don't see the value in it, they see its waste. Let's take the consumer protection
Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Yeah.
protection board for folks. This is one of the only recourses consumers and working people have for grievances and so we can have justice in the market. People like Vivek and Elon Musk have their own version of that that they finance, right? We as working people don't have that. That is ours. Our taxpayer money goes to that so we can be protected. This is an agency that costs less than $1 billion a year and has brought us back over $20 billion for working families and working people. It's actually one of the most efficient agencies in terms of the money we get back. But they see it as waste. Why? Because to them it's wasteful because they have their own. They don't need the government doing that. It hurts the bottom line. So the proposition is not good faith. I do think they want to cut spending and cut all this to just help themselves. And so I hesitate to like join the caucus or anything like that because I just don't think it's going to be in a good place. But we'll see. Look, they're talking about defense spending. I have a bipartisan bill on oversight for defense spending that passed the House unanimously as part of an amendment in the NDAA. So like I'm all about looking at this stuff, but you got to come at it in from a real place. And I just think it's funny that we have two unelected billionaires complaining about unelected bureaucrats. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm not engaging on that right now.
No,
We'll see.
listen, I appreciate it. I think that I think that to the extent it's possible, we have to have like I don't mind Senator Sanders, for example, saying, "Listen, I'll work with Elon Musk." He's basically saying, "I'm going to call Musk's bluff. If you want to cut
Yeah, yeah,
spending, I'm going to put legislation on the floor, and I'm going to make you put your votes and your money where your mouths are." I totally appreciate that, but I
yeah,
also like this skepticism that you're evincing because, quite frankly, it's deserved. Elon Musk has talked about deleting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Vivek has talked about. He tweeted. He's like, President Biden is providing government subsidies to Elon Musk's competitors, which there's nothing unlawful about that as long as the legislation approves it. And he says, DOGE should take a look at that. And I'm like, how more blatantly corrupt can you get? You want to
yeah.
choke off valid subsidies to the competitors of a guy who's co-heading this agency? So I really appreciate your skepticism, and I hope people continue to take that posture.